What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout Spot where you already know it's real talk, sports talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and let's talk some Jets. For all my Jet fan peoples and supporters, this video is for you. Not sure if it's going to be a good thing, but I promised that I would do this separately so that we can dissect what happened this week and what we think is going to happen on Sunday. But first and foremost, for those you true Jet fans who know who this is, Brandon Marshall, there's a reason why I'm wearing this jersey. And it's quite simple. 2015, in my opinion, was the last time that we were able to see an offense that actually looked like an NFL caliber offense. I mean, let's keep it real. We won 10 games. We didn't make the playoffs because we lost the last game to Buffalo. But our quarterback at the time, Ryan Fitzpatrick, actually threw for 3,900 yards and 31 touchdowns. Brandon Marshall had over 100 receptions for over 1,500 yards receiving and 14 touchdowns. Eric Decker also had 13 touchdowns that year. Think about that. If we had that offense on this year's team with this defense, where do you think we'd be? Which proves what I've been saying weeks ago. If this team had a competent quarterback and play caller, and we're going to get to that in a second, we'd definitely be a contender to at least make it to the AFC Championship game. I firmly believe that. But here we are. Sunday, the 4-7 New York Jets host the 5-6 Atlanta Falcons, the first place Atlanta Falcons. They are actually tied for first. They do have the tiebreaker because they beat New Orleans last week in the NFC South, again with a 5-6 record. They're coming in here. This is another one of those games weeks and weeks ago when it looked like we were going to be a contender for a playoff spot that I had circled on my calendar as a definite win. Fast forward, not so much. Reason being, surprise, we can't score freaking points. We can't get a touchdown. We can't score points. We're working on our third string quarterback now. Who knows if we're ever going to see a fourth string quarterback down the road? I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but numbers don't lie. We have lost 4 straight games. Damn near should have been 5 games. I still don't understand or believe how we won that game against the Giants. But if you have a team that plays in today's pass-happy, offensively driven NFL that scores a total of 50 points in 5 games, you're not going to win many games. It doesn't matter how good your defense and special teams is. I mean, look at it. 13 points, 6 points, 12 points, 6 points, 13 points. I mean, you get teams in Pop Warner leagues that are scoring more than this nonsense. It's just insane. You know, we're either dead last or we're close to last in almost every offensive category. Obviously, third down efficiency is legendary bad. I think we're the worst in history. 24% through 11 games. That's probably either the worst in history, definitely the worst in the last 50 years. Time of possession, we can't muster any drives because we can't convert on third downs. You know, red zone efficiency, we're garbage. Can't be good if you don't score touchdowns. Passing yards, I mean, even rushing yards. And this is a team that has Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, and Izzy Abanikanda. And we are 27th in the NFL rushing yards. You're not going to win games like that. You're not going to win games. And again, there's a lot of things, right? I mean, we haven't gotten good, competent quarterback play. That's painfully obvious, right? Our offensive line is probably the worst in the league. I mean, we've been decimated by injuries. It's makeshift. There's shift a guy in, shift a guy out. I have no clue who's going to play offensive line on Sunday. So whoever it is, I'm just hoping for the best. And then obviously we have, in my opinion, the worst play caller that we've ever had in Jets history in Nathaniel Hackett. And this week during his press conference just proved to all of us that every time this guy opens his mouth, the more and more you believe that he has a drug problem. Honestly. I mean, he just sounds ridiculous. He really does. I mean, he was asked this week, why, with the whole offense struggling, why is it happening? And, his answer was, yeah, well, him and the players are pressing, right? So you got to believe the players are pressing. You can see it. You can see Garrett Wilson's pressing. You can see Breece Hall is pressing. So I get that part of it. But the coach, what the hell is he pressing about? So Rich Cimini actually asked that question, which was spot on. He asked him, how can a coach press? And this was Hackett's response. And I quote this. This was Hackett's response. Buckle up before you hear this. Sometimes it's experimenting with too many new things instead of building a foundation. Trying to take too many shots or trying to get unique runs instead of letting these guys go to work. Are you freaking kidding me? This guy needs to be tested. I want what he's smoking. What is he talking about? Experimenting with what? This has got to be the most bland, the worst offense I've ever seen as far as lack of creativity. They basically operate in a rectangle in the middle of the field from the line of scrimmage to 10, 12 yards. Slam plays, they do nothing creative. They run the ball up the middle and get Breece Hall pounded on instead of getting creative and utilizing his speed on the edges. They throw nothing down the field vertical, and then when they do, it gets picked off for 99 yards on a Hail Mary. What is he talking about experiment? What is he experimenting with? Because they aren't experimenting with quarterbacks because last week was the first time that they actually made a quarterback switch. This guy's absolutely insane. I mean, trying to get unique runs instead of letting these guys go to work. And then when he elaborated on that as a coach, he's always looking from within first because that's what he can control. Sometimes you just got to let them go out there, play, give them the looks, and trust that they can execute. I got to be honest. I think the offense would be better if he wasn't calling plays. Just let them go out there and play. Let them call their own plays. I guarantee you they'd be better. They'd be better on offense than they are today with this idiot, whether he's on the sidelines or whether he's up in the booth calling plays. He needs to go. I'm sorry, he needs to go. Let me tell you something. I don't think I've hated an offensive coordinator on the Jets more than I've hated Hackett. And trust me when I tell you, I've hated a ton of our coordinators because that's another area that we can't seem to get right. We can't develop quarterbacks because we don't hire good coordinators. Everybody that we hire is trash. His father was trash. His father was our coordinator for under Herm Edwards. He was terrible. Go figure. I mean, Mike LaFleur last year, honestly, we were better off with Mike LaFleur. At least we saw some creativity, especially when we had competent quarterback play. I mean, this is a severe problem, and this is where it starts. I mean, this is where it starts, and I don't know. I mean, I was hoping that Saleh would come to his senses and and possibly make a change in play caller, maybe a different voice in the meeting rooms, maybe a different voice, talking to the quarterback. During the game would help. But he's sticking with this guy, and we all know why. We all know why. I mean, this is Aaron Rodgers' guy. He's not going anywhere. But the good news is Aaron Rodgers is back with the team this week, right? He's doing some drills on the field. They have 21 days or whatnot to see if, they're going to be able to activate him if he's healthy enough. I don't know what's going on there. You know what? I don't really think too much about it anyway because if he's true to his word and what he said on the McAfee show, it only makes sense for him if he's healthy or if the team is in contention, playing meaningful games. The second part of that is not going to happen. So if he's true to his word, we're not seeing him play this year. This team is not making the playoffs. They can't score points. And the crazy part about it is, like I said, this would be a game like I would have thought weeks ago that we can win easily, especially with our defense. But realistically, our defense has shown some kinks in the armor as well. The last couple of weeks. We've given up 66 points the last two games. And I don't know if that's more of a byproduct of just being out there too long or just quitting in the second half. Because in both games, I got the feeling that that's what happened. And realistically, I don't even blame them. When you see the offense that we're seeing on TV, and they're seeing it firsthand, I mean, they have a front row seat on the sidelines to watch that, it sucks the life out of you. It demoralizes you. It sucks the life out of players. It sucks the life out of fans in the sand. It sucks the life out of us fans watching on TV. It's terrible. It really is. So they've come back down to earth, a bit, and they've given up a lot of points. They're still fourth in the league in interceptions, so they're going after the football. I mean, last week they got a pick six. But we can't expect the defense to give us points every week. That's not how it works. They have to do their job. We have to do our offense have to do their job to play complementary football and score some damn points. And until we do that, again, I can't trust the Jets to beat anybody. I can't. I mean, I do have, my 5 keys to victory. I don't know. I mean, if they execute these 5 keys, yeah, I mean, they got a good shot to win, but who knows? Who knows what to expect? I don't know. I really don't know. But, let's start with my first key to victory. I think that, we have to stop the run, and as good as the Jets have been on defense, they've shown some weaknesses, stopping the run against a few teams this year. So they're going to have to stop the run this game because this rookie kid, this Bijan Robinson kid, he runs hard. He's explosive. I've seen him play. He's averaging 5 yards per carry. He has 3 touchdowns on the ground. He can catch the ball out of the backfield as well, 32 catches. He's averaging close to 8 yards per catch, and he also has 3 touchdowns. You got to think with the rookie quarterback facing our defense, Desmond Ridder, who just hasn't really been good this year. You got to think that they're going to try to establish the run to try to help him out on play action. That's where we have to stop the run, and we got to force the young quarterback to beat us. If we're able to do that, I think we got a good chance to get this kid to throw a couple to our team, which will help us get the offense back, offense on the field, and hopefully, with good field position. Which takes me to key to victory number 2 is our offensive line. Regardless of who's out there, and again, I don't know who's going to be out there, who's starting, they have to be stout. And you got to think that this is a game on paper that they may be able to get going a little bit. The Falcons are 27th in the league in sacks. Again, it's hard for me to sit there and say to you with a straight face that we have or we could potentially have the advantage over any defensive line. But on paper, that's all I'm saying. So don't kill me. On paper, this is a good matchup for us to maybe get rolling a little bit and get some confidence and some respect. Tippmann, I saw a stat this week. He's been lights out at center. His grades has been extremely good for a rookie. So Tippmann has to play center. You got to think that Becton's coming back. Brown will be playing this game more than likely. So they'll play at the tackle spots. And then whoever plays the guard spots, obviously Max Mitchell will probably play one. Who knows who's going to play the other. But they have to be able to be stout because this is not a defensive line of the likes of the Dallas Cowboys, of the Eagles, who have these fantastic edge rushers. If we can control the line of scrimmage, which takes me to my third key to victory, was we have to establish the run. It gives us a good opportunity to move the chains and hopefully work off play action. We got to get Brees involved in this game. I say that every week, and almost every week it's ignored. He was challenged this week, whether it was fair or not. I don't think it was fair, but he was actually challenged. There were some coaches, I think Saleh, and I also think that Hackett said the same thing, that they think that he's trying too hard to hit a home run instead of looking to grind out, those tough yards on first and second down and put them in manageable positions. I don't know how I feel about that. Because, again, I think they have tried that and it just hasn't worked because defensive has stacked the box on the first the first 2 downs against us. And hitting a home run, what else is he supposed to do? The offense isn't scoring. They can't pass the ball. They can't throw the ball vertically. So if you're Brees Hall, yeah, you probably want to put some pressure on yourself to try to hit a home run. So I don't know how I feel about that. But it all depends. It all depends on how he takes that, right? He can take that as a challenge, put a chip on his shoulder, and go out there and play like he's capable of playing. I think that's what will happen. But you never know, right? You never know how a player is going to receive that message, especially at this point in the season when things are going so bad. But you got to be able to get him involved, and you got to get creative. you can't just expect him to break one for 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, maybe 12, 15 yards if you're running him straight up the middle. All you're doing is just beating him to death, which takes me to my key to victory number 4, which is you got to get creative on offense, and it starts with him. I said on my last video last week, the Jets should take a serious look at what Miami does on offense. And again, I'm not saying that we do the exact same things, but try to mirror some of the things that they do with their players, right? I know we don't have Tua. I know we don't have Tyreek Hill, but we have Garrett Wilson, who's a stud. We have Breece Hall. Again, we just spoke about it, home run hitter. Maybe some pitches, some sweeps, some motions. Get the wide receiver in motion. Call hike off the shotgun. Give the wide receiver the pitch. Let him run. You can run that play with Xavier Gibson. He has speed. So you got to get creative. You got to get creative. You can't just be running the ball up the middle. If you give Breece Hall a pitch like they gave Mostert against us, more than likely it'll get him a running start. He can see the holes. It'll give our offensive line a chance to go out, run downhill, hit some defensive guys. That might be able to get them going as well. And then, for God's sakes, man, can we throw the ball down the field just one time? I mean, every other NFL team does it. It's a pass-happy league. Vertical passes. Utilize the speed. You have Garrett Wilson. I mean, what they need to do with Garrett Wilson is they need to do what Miami does with Tyreek Hill. Line him up in the slot. Line him up in the outside. Line him up on the left. Send Xavier Gibson down the sideline. Give him a shot. If I'm the Jets, the first play of the game, the first offensive play of the game, I'm throwing it down the field. So at least the defense can think, oh, they might be throwing the ball against us. This team can throw the ball down the field. This team is capable of throwing the ball down the field. And even if you don't catch it, defenses make mistakes. We may be able to pick up some chunk yardage on a first down with the pass interference. God knows we can't do it on our own. Any help that we can get to move the chains helps. Vertical passes, please, for God's sakes. Show some damn creativity, man. Look at the Dolphins game film. Look at what the Bills are doing, recently. If you want some pointers on how to run an NFL caliber, NFL style offense, I mean that might be something that Hackett needs to do instead of talking in press conferences and taking drugs before he's talking. And then my last key to victory would be you got to have a short leash for Tim Boyle, and I feel for him. I really do. I mean, I personally don't think that Tim Boyle is an NFL quarterback. He's a third stringer at best. He might be better suited for the XFL, but he's getting a shot, right? He's getting a shot. But if he's ineffective and the game is close at the half, and I personally think that this game is going to be close at the half. If it's say 6-3, 9-6, we're losing, but we can't get into the end zone. Make a change. If you're solid, you gotta be willing to go to Trevor Siemian here. And again, I know that going to Siemian isn't like going to Aaron Rodgers, but he's a veteran guy. He's been in the league for a long time. He's played on multiple teams. He's been a starter. He's seen defenses. Let's see what he can do to provide a spark in a game that is winnable. Because if it's close at the half with our defense, you got to think this is going to be a winnable game, especially going up against a rookie quarterback who can make mistakes against our defense. Short leash, man. You can't be stubborn here. You got to play to win the games. And that's where I have my issues with Saleh, because in my opinion, he doesn't make those type of adjustments, and a good coach has to have a feel for what's going on that game. Worry about the next game when it comes. You worry about who's going to start next week, but you know what? If my quarterback, my starter, is ineffective at the half, and this is a winnable game, I got to do what I need to do to try to provide a spark. I'm going to pull him and put the backup in. And if you want to put him back in the next week, I don't have a problem with that. Try to win this game. Make those damn adjustments. And those are my 5 keys to victory. I honestly believe that the Jets defense can feast on this game. I mean, Ritter hasn't been good. 7 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's only passing for 190 yards. He was actually benched for a couple of games. So, I mean, he's trying to find his way too. This is a team that the Jets can beat, man. We just got to show some life on offense. And there you have it. Those are my 5 keys to victory. Now, what happens? What's my prediction? What can I say? What can I say? Until the Jets score points and look like an NFL caliber offense, I don't think they can beat anybody. On the other hand, this is a winnable game. The Falcons aren't exactly lighting up the scoreboard either, and they are facing a defense, I think, that is going to be ready for a comeback game after 2 subpar games. I don't know. I think it's going to be ugly. Obviously, it's an ugly game. I hear the weather on Sunday is going to be ugly as well. It's going to be rainy, so I think it's going to be an ugly game. Both teams are going to try to establish the run. I don't see either team scoring a lot of points. I see this game ending 13-10, 13-9, 16-10. I just don't know who's going to win, to be honest with you. But if I had to predict, you got to think as a Jet fan. And again, this is the Jet fan. And me and you guys that ride with this team, you know what I'm talking about. We're emotionally invested, man. We're just waiting for something to pop off. You got to think that we've seen enough. And that the football gods are tired of crapping on us for the last 5 weeks. We got to think that we're going to see some semblance of life this week. I think the Jets are going to win this game. Yes, I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. The Falcons are going in as a 2-point favorite. I think the Jets are going to win this game. I'm not sure. I wouldn't bet my money on it. I'm going to go with my heart this time because I think that we've heard enough. I think the football gods have heard us enough. And for those of you diehard Jet fans, you're going to probably say I'm crazy. No, they haven't. They can crap on us more. They've been crapping on us for years. Why would they stop now? But I don't know. I just think this is a good matchup for us. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I know I'm crazy. I warned you guys, though, when I started doing these videos that you were going to see a crazy side of me. But again, that's only the heart and the passion side of me. This is for my Jet fans people out there. I mean, this is what we do. We ride together through the good times, through the bad times, more bad times than good, obviously. But this is how we roll. So let me know what you think. Like I said, I don't get offended if you call me crazy. But feel free to drop a comment. Give me some feedback. Do you think I'm right? Do you think this is a winnable game? I don't know. Just let me know your thoughts. I love hearing from you guys. If you're new to watching, my videos, please subscribe. Come support your boy, hang out. This is how we do here in the man cave. During all the videos, you're always welcome. And don't forget, if you do subscribe, hit that notification button so that you're alerted anytime that I drop new content. You'll be the first ones to be able to catch it. But anyhow, I appreciate everybody watching. And as always, this is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot. I'll talk to everybody soon. And let's go Jets.